Okay, we're starting a new series on electricity for your RV, and we're going to be talking about direct current, also known as batteries.
RV Mentor, RVing for Newbies, ethics disclaimer. All the tools being used, the items being installed or reviewed were purchased by RV Mentor. The only exceptions will be denoted in the next slide in this video, giving the name of the manufacturer, the items, and how they were acquired, donated, etc. The things stated in this video are the opinions of RV Mentor and are just that, opinions, but are based on 13 years of being an RV owner and being an RV inspector. Let's get on with the video.
So, keep that in mind. Negative comes off first, positive comes off last. When you're hooking things back up, the positive goes on first, the negative goes on last. Now, for those of you who really want to know why we do it that way, right? It has mostly to do with the breaking the connection from this negative side of the battery. It goes to the frame of your vehicle, right? If you were to have this connected to your frame, which is the way it normally works, right, to complete the circuit, and you start dabbling around on the positive side here to go to take this one off first, and this is not the way to do it. I'm just showing you why it's dangerous. And you brush up against a metal part of your RV, what will happen is the conductiveness from this positive pole, and you're touching your RV, which is what this is connected to. You're not touching these both at the same time, but your body is now touching the RV that has a metal part that you're leaning against, and it is tied to this. If you hold on to this while you're taking it off and you touch a negative side, you are now the wire. You will now conduct the electricity, and it's going to be an ugly situation all the way around. So keep in mind, if you take the negative off first, which is grounded to the frame of your RV, right? You take that one off first. If you touch this and you touch the frame of your RV, it's not going to be a problem. Why? Because this part is not connected to your frame. So you're hooking your wires back up and you accidentally reverse them because you forgot to put the tape on. What's going to happen? Well, at best, there's two 40 amp fuses, most cases, in most RVs, that will try to protect you from making that kind of mistake. And when we go in and take a look at the converter, let you show you where exactly those are at and what their purpose is. But it's called a reverse polarity. So if you accidentally switch and put these red wires here and the black wires here, those two fuses hopefully will pop and will protect the rest of your RV. Sometimes that works. I've known people sometimes it didn't work and it toasted things. Okay, one last item about talking about taping these wires together. Now here's a simple layout. We've only got two on each side. Sure, it could be confusing because of the whole black wire thing on both ends. But I had to work on an RV one time where there were 8 wires on each side. There were multiple blacks, multiple whites, multiple reds, and like a yellow, a blue, a green, and I think there was a purple maybe too. There was just all kinds of wires on both sides. I literally taped these up just like this because there was no way I was going to try to remember where everybody went. Number one, you could take a picture, right? But if the wires get loose, how do you know who goes where? The taping of those wires anywhere along this way to keep, so you know who belongs on which pole is definitely a way of doing it. Now, could I have figured it out? Absolutely. I would have taken a voltmeter, I would have touched each of these wires, the negative side, and I would have taken the other side of the voltmeter and touched the frame of my RV to figure out which ones were the ground. All right, let's take a look at my Class C motorhome, Thor. What we've got here is, here's where my batteries are stored. They're under the step as you walk in. As you can see, I have a couple of yellow tops in here. They are two 12-volt batteries, and they are wired in parallel. So what exactly does that mean? So if you look at the battery on the left, the far left pole is my negative. If you look, it is connected. Let's pull this out of the way. It is connected on a wire that goes over to the other negative pole on that battery, on the second battery. Okay. The negative going to the ground for the RV is on that pole. Now, we've got on this pole on the first battery, or the left battery, its positive has a wire running to the positive pole on the other battery. The red wires going to the RV are on the pole on the right battery, the positive pole. That's how a parallel setup works. Positive from one pole of one battery, and the negative is pulled from the other pole on the other battery. Let me scoot back here so you can take a look at the wiring setup. And I'll have another picture to show you in the video about the parallel series, 6 volt, 12 volt. We'll have those all covered. You'll be able to see a couple of decent diagrams for it. Items that require 12 volt, also known as battery, in your RV consists of, this is not a complete list, but it's a pretty good start. Your lights, your refrigerator control board, your refrigerator igniter when you're using it on propane. Some of the new fridges out there, I just found out they are 12 volt only. It's amazing. I would not have thought a fridge would be able to work on 12 volt only, but they're out there. Furnace control board, your furnace blower fan, your furnace igniter, back to the propane thing, your water pump, your slide motors, your awning motors, your stove, oven, igniter, sparker, your carbon monoxide and propane detectors, your power steps, your vent fans, stereo systems, some of them work on 12 volts, some TVs also work on 12 volts, your power leveling jacks, your water heater igniter when you're running it on propane, and your water heater circuit board. Let's look for the converter box. I know where mine is here. One of the things you should ask them in your pre-delivery inspection is, where is my converter box? Where are the places where my fuses for DC side, and where are my circuit breakers for the AC side? Where's it at? Take a look inside of our fuse box here. We've got basically DC spade fuses. There are two 40 amp fuses you can see right there in the center. They're orangish. Those are the two fuses that are hopefully going to protect you if you happen to wire your battery, put your battery wires on backwards, i.e. reverse polarity. Those guys will blow and hopefully nothing else will go belly up. So when you're looking at having fuses, spare fuses, I cannot highly recommend this any more than just go out and buy some. Take a look at what you have in your fuse box, your converter box. I got a bunch of 15s, a 5, a 30, and a couple of 40s. I have all of those, right, as spares. Put them in your arsenal that you want to have. So the question gets asked quite often, how come if I go out to my RV in a month, why is the battery dead? There are things known as vampire loads. Your propane carbon monoxide detector is one of the biggest culprits. It runs all the time as it should, and it runs off your 12 volt battery. Okay, as we talked about earlier, batteries are either charging or discharging. So if you turn off the house button, turn off and disconnect your battery through your battery disconnect switch or your house switch, and you turn everything off, including the propane carbon monoxide detector, if you're not plugged in, that battery is discharging anyway. You'll get maybe a month of it sitting there before it gets to the point where it's not going to want to run things. If you have a lot of batteries, maybe you'll get a couple of months out of it. Maybe. So the idea here is, if at all possible, if you got the RV parked somewhere and you're not going to use it for over a month, go ahead, pull the battery. If it's at a storage unit, pull the battery, take it home, put it on trickle charge. If you have your RV sitting in your house, like I do, I have put in a 30 amp adapter or a 30 amp circuit. I run my cord out from my RV, plug it in, it keeps the battery charged. You don't want your battery to discharge too far because you will kill it. As I talked about a little earlier, where you saw my AGM yellow top battery with about 7.5 volts when it should be at least 12. So someone asked me on the Facebook group, How to RV for Newbies, what kind of batteries I had. And I said I have two yellow top AGM batteries by Optima, and the reason behind that is I wanted the extra amps, so I hooked those two things up in parallel. Optima makes 3 types of batteries. There's a red type, which is known as the starting battery, which is what you would have in the front end of your motorhome or in your truck for your tow vehicle. They make a blue one, which is your deep cycle battery, which is made for RV type applications. Slow drain, not going to be used for starting. But in my motorhome, I chose the cross between the two, which was a yellow top. And the yellow top is good for starting and it's good for slow drain. Now, for those of you in a fifth wheel or a travel trailer, this probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you. For those of you in a motorhome, a Class A or a Class C, we have a switch in most cases that if you drain your motor's battery, you have a switch that will let you run and attempt to start your motor from your house batteries. So I went with yellow because it's a hybrid, it does both. And if I need to start my motorhome from my house batteries, they can handle it. When you're buying batteries for your motorhome, deep cycle batteries is definitely what you want to go with, unless you're thinking like I am, where I want to have it to be able to start my engine also. Do not buy starter type batteries, ones that would be used to start the engine on your tow vehicle or your motorhome. Do not use those in the application for running your motorhome's house part or for your travel trailer or your fifth wheel. The RV part needs a battery that is a deep cycle type battery, not a starting engine type battery. If you use a starting engine type battery and you slow drain it, you will kill it. So what charges my house batteries for my RV? Generator will do it. If you're plugged into shore power, that will do it. If you're going down the road of solar, it can keep your battery topped off. Can my tow vehicle charge my fifth wheel or travel trailer's battery through the 7-pin cord? The answer is a definite maybe. And I say that because research has shown that there is voltage that flows evidently on the 7-pin wire, on one of the 7-pin wires, that can potentially keep a battery charged. Now, would I use it to charge the battery? Probably not. It's not going to do it. Those wires are not that thick to be able to carry that much amperage to be able to charge those batteries. Can it keep them topped off? Definitely maybe. And you'll hear me use that term a lot because using the word always and never are pretty rare terms to use when talking about almost anything anymore, because almost everything is it depends. Now, you heard me mention previously about not using a starting battery to run your RV, the house part. Can you do it? Absolutely. Is it a good idea? No. Is it going to cost you money in the short run? Yes. So it's not a never or an always thing, but it's the best recommended practice. All right, I think we're done here talking about DC stuff. Till next time, all about electricity. Be safe out there. Don't get shocked.